IT, our web development, so they get that understanding of how we speak and talk, not only on the phone and email, but through our reporting systems that we partner with our clients. So I think it's very important. We hire positions in our information technology, web development, that we would like to see accounting, payroll, because that's what we provide services, reporting services to our clients. I don't know, Josh, if you could speak in more detail about the positions.
My best developers that I call developers were all from the business. They have no IT background. They were an accountant, they were a revenue accountant, they were a payroll person that knew Excel and wrote macros to save time. And we see those people and, you know, they rise up the chain really fast. Oftentimes those people are really good problem solvers and they're good at you know, solving this type of problem, and they get put into management, supervisory, and that's, I'll be honest, a lot of real good technical people aren't really good people managers. So, you know, those are really hard decisions, and you're going to be faced with those when you get employed. You're going to take this path or take this path, and don't be afraid to hop ship and go the other way if it doesn't work. So we've had people go hop ship, go back down the chain, and come up another line really, really successfully. My best people were hired within the business at the lowest level of the company, literally entry level.
And we believe you'll start there at some point. You know, when you come out with your degree, you know, you're going to look at an accountant role for your accounting degrees. I mean, you're not going to be able to step up into that controller and stuff. I think the best way to learn, and I did it through recruiting, is you start at that lower level and you work your way up. And InfoSync loves promoting within, and we do that quite often. And like Josh said, some of your best employees have that experience, and they bring it up the chain and develop into supervisors or management. Or they go that other avenue if that's something they don't particularly have a good niche for. But you can learn that. You can learn how to manage people, lead people.
Anybody else?
Sean, do you have anything to add from a COVID perspective?
Yeah, so from a cross-training standpoint, bottom line is we have guys that are our finance people that are working in the IT shops. Coke is really good at allowing people that if you're in a role to transfer to other roles if they see that you have the ability to do so. A company that, honestly, if you were going to look at a company and a company does not let you cross-train, I would think twice about going to that company. The reason I say that is because as the world changes, then maybe they have their blinders on to the fact that they don't realize that maybe they need to move and they need to pivot. So it's important that whatever company you do go with in the future, as you do, ask them if they allow cross-training, because it's a really good tool, and you just don't know until you get into it. I mean, I was an airline pilot, right? I mean, who the heck would think this? So, and my wife's really mad. I still paid off my student loans, but actually this month they're going to be paid off. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to have a nice party. It's taking too long. Don't do that. But no, Coke is big into it, so you should look at that opportunity. If there's a place that you can do cross-training, I'd highly recommend it.
As a final note about that, as an intern for InfoSync, I've been there since the beginning of May, and I've already been exposed to the accounts payable department, the payroll, the IT, I've seen financial statements built from scratch. So they're huge on it, and I mean, because of it, I never would have thought I'd be interested in IT at all, but that was definitely the rotation that stuck with me the most. So.
And actually, I'll piggyback on that. A friend of mine has got a business in Boston, and his buddy was a CPA, and his buddy got into data analytics, and now became a data scientist. And he invented a product that you all have probably heard of called Google Docs. Okay, and that accounting background that he had helped him with Google Docs. So it's something to consider, that just because you start on one spot, you pivot, it ends up in a lot of different areas.
From the EY perspective, Tiffany and I both can speak to this. From the EY perspective, we have our office has the insurance practice, so most of our cross training is going to be in different industries. as opposed to switching into IT. I mean, there are situations where you can do a rotation into one of the other practices because the firm as a whole has quite a bit of practices. And there are definitely times where people can transition in. I've seen a person that was in audit and they didn't like audit and they went to tax. I've seen a person that went from tax and didn't like tax and went to audit. But in the Wichita office, for sure, it's a lot more of the different experiences coming from learning different industries, being on different clients, as opposed to just staying on one individual client. I think that's a misconception, especially at some of the schools where they say, oh, if you work in the EY Wichita office, you only work on one thing, and that's totally false. Because one of our audit clients, which is Coke, I mean, they have so many different businesses, so and each business is different, and so you just see so many different things, and you can get different experiences as you do different audits within those businesses, or whether you're on an audited aerospace and defense client, or whether you're on a retail client, whether you do oil and gas. Just there's so many different experiences, and the firm is really big on that. They also allow you to do rotations to different countries, so you get to see a totally different country, and they have their own different accounting issues because everyone is not US GAAP, IFRS, so it's just a lot of different experiences in that regard. Do you want to add anything?
I would just chime into what Shakima said. I'm super interested in data analytics, kind of a huge nerd about it, and so I'm considering looking into doing a rotation with our IT department, so I'd actually go and do the IT side of the audit as opposed to the financial statement side of the audit. Also in the rotations, I'm going to Denver for 3 months this year. It's just a small rotation to try other offices. And the Denver office is a much larger office than the Wichita one, obviously. So they've got some of those other departments that I'll get a chance to see kind of how they operate and what they do differently than what I do now. So I do think that there's definitely a huge opportunity to learn the different areas and how it impacts the financial statements or whatever your role you end up going into.
I mean, from an employee perspective, if you want to learn something new, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, if anyone can attest to this, like, I don't think they'll ever say no. They might say no, not right now, but they're not going to say, we won't let you do it. The more well-rounded you become and more trained in different areas that you become, it makes your job even just more in-depth, and you'll be able to do so much more with it.
I think we're about time. If you'd like, panelists, give us one final thought each, real quick, and then.
Jeez.
We're just putting you on the spot tonight.
Well, to echo with the discussion we just had, I tell a lot of my students that it's not just your depth of knowledge that determines your human capital, it's your breadth of knowledge as well. And so that's basically just repeating the things that you just said here. Yeah, so that's it.
From me, first, I want to tell you guys that I know how difficult it is to be a student today. A lot of you guys taking classes full-time, working 2 jobs, having kids, and all that, So I didn't have to do a lot of those when I was your age. Like, my main responsibilities at the time was going to school, kept my parents happy, and use, my times, like I have left from my classes with my friends. I think I have one kind of a casual advice and another one a more kind of serious one. The more serious one is you want to really be realistic and also prioritize. Okay, that's the thing. It's easier said than done, and I know that, so one thing you can do better, I know that a lot of you guys can do better, is to come and talk to your professors. When stuff happen in life, just let us know and ask. Any room that we have for leniency without compromising integrity of class, we'll do that. We're not getting promotion or raise because we're giving more Fs to students. It's actually the opposite. I have to tell you that. So just let us know. And I know it may sound a little funny, but 2 days ago, a student came to my office, and she's a senior, and she said this is the first time she ever came to her professor's office. She's about to graduate in less than a year, so I don't know, and I asked you guys that question, so I wanted to reiterate that. And a more kind of casual advice is have your Red Bull handy.
That's good. I wish they had Red Bull when I was in college. That would have been great. We had these things called no-dos, and you take them and you're just like totally wired.
They still have
They still have those?
Yes.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah. Not at 2 in the morning though. And I guess I would also echo that what's been said. You all are paying a lot of money to go to school. You're getting a top-notch education. I mean, this Wichita State is amazing. It really is. It's a really good school. It's in the small town of Wichita, but you have wonderful professors that are teaching you great, great things. The thing is, you're spending all this money and you're getting this education. Take advantage of it. To Dr. Meek's point, you need to go ask them, talk to them. They're there for you and to help you. And the one thing I regret is I was afraid of my own shadow. And as a personality, I don't like talking to people. I really, really don't. And so I would, I hate it. Just despite it. So the point is that talk to your instructors. They're here for you. And I could have went much further if I would have done that early in life. And so you have that opportunity. Take advantage of it. And you are also in a very small, close-knit school, which is great. As you go to these bigger colleges, you become just a number. They're here to help you. So take advantage of that as well. And just enjoy the ride. Things are going to change, which is awesome. But just enjoy it because it's going to change tomorrow. It's going to change the day after that. And get to learn a lot. That's all I've got.
Can I add one more thing? Well, when you come to your professors, sometimes you may not like what you get to hear.